we live in the world of interest, where the private as well as the public sector in the global north, they have their interest and they are not shy about it. And it makes sense, or it's understandable, that they are going to write algorithms or use data sets to train AI systems that would be beneficial. The outcome would be beneficial for them. In the global south, what I'm saying is, it's a word of caution that we cannot afford, or it would be a grave mistake to just pick up AI systems off the shelf from the global north to implement them in the global south and hope that they will come out with results that will be in our interest. It's not going to happen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Technology Video Series. In today's episode, I will be talking about artificial intelligence, abbreviated AI. However, I am not going to dwell too much on the benefits of artificial intelligence, as these cannot be overemphasized. They are self-evident. However, I will be looking at the potential downsides or disbenefits to the general population. And in so doing, I will talk about compliance, and I would outline the two main issues that are potential risk of artificial intelligence to the general population. But to start this video series, let me throw a curveball. We are currently in the era of the fourth industrial revolution, codenamed Industry 4.0. Do you remember the days when digital photography totally eclipsed film photography and had casualties like Eastman Kodak? Let's talk about capital. Do you believe that in this fourth industrial revolution that is riding on the technology wave, capital could undergo the same transformation as film photography or as photography in general? Do you think it is possible that digital capital could totally eclipse the traditional forms of capital that we know today? Think about it. Stay tuned. So, what is artificial intelligence? In the recent past, we have been hearing artificial intelligence in almost every facet of life. However, artificial intelligence is not new. It is true that there are certain factors that brought artificial intelligence to the limelight of recent, but it is not a new concept. So, to be able to explain what artificial intelligence is in the simplest of forms that I can think of, I would say it is the ability of a computer or a machine to be able to think, to reason, to learn, and to make decisions. You would agree with me that these are character traits that were hitherto possessed by humans only. But now machines are able to carry out these human traits. That is artificial intelligence in a nutshell. So artificial intelligence has various branches, but let me talk about four. The first of them being machine learning. The ability of a machine to be able to learn a process, understand the dynamics, and be able to function independently. Second, we talk about natural language processing, which is basically the capabilities of a machine to be able to source information from different sources that are open, the open internet, and be able to reconstruct a response that is comprehensive. And again, like I said, artificial intelligence seemed to have come to the limelight of recent thanks to OpenAI's ChatGPT, which is basically a natural language processing tool. The third is computer vision, basically the ability of a computer and machine to be able to view through the lens of a camera and make decisions based on the image of the object that it has viewed. And lastly, robotics, building robots and programming them to be able to carry tasks that were hitherto carried out by humans. So in a nutshell, this is what artificial intelligence is all about. The benefits, again, should and cannot be overemphasized. They are self-evident. However, what are the downsides? And here we are talking about the different ethical considerations that would surround artificial intelligence. There are many of them. The first one being bias and fairness. The second, privacy issues. The third, job security, job displacement. And lastly, autonomy. Does it make sense to leave certain processes entirely to machines? What are the drawbacks? We understand that machines, unlike humans, do not have empathy, right? So they do not have a feeling, which is a human trait that has not, as of now, been replicated by machines. But in this video, I am going to focus on just one of these ethical considerations and make the case for compliance. And I'm going to use, as usual, anecdotal evidence. Of the several ethical considerations that I alluded to above, I want to zero down on the one I believe is fundamental, and that is algorithmic bias. Understand that for computer systems or machines to be able to think, reason, learn, and make decisions, they rely on a set of instructions. These instructions are known as algorithms. And the question is, who are those writing the algorithms that are instructing AI systems? Every human being has their biases. So for a human being or a group of human beings with their biases to write an algorithm that is powering an AI system, there is a very high likelihood that this AI system is going to perpetuate those biases. And this is a concern for the general population at large. The second is what data sets are used to train these AI systems. An AI system, once the set of instructions or the algorithm is written, you need a data set to be able to train it. So you would give in the data, the machine would analyze that data and see how you came out with the results, and it trains itself to be able to analyze a different data set and come out with results in the same pattern. So, to make this clear, I would use two examples to be able to clearly put a face to the problem that I'm alluding to. Please stay tuned. So, talking about data sets and the need to have a fair and equitable data set that is used to train an AI system, let me start with the example of criminal justice. Say for a moment we are building an AI system that is going to replace the arduous criminal justice system in the US, for example, where it takes months, if not years, to go through a trial process. And to be able to fit, this system with data to train itself, we used criminal convictions from the criminal trials, be it acquittals or convictions, from the 1930s to the year 2000, where we would feed in, the suspect that's on trial. We'll feed in their race, their gender, ethnic origin, and all the demographics. We also feed in the charges that were brought against them, the evidence that was brought against them, and the decision that was arrived at. We feed all of this to train a system. Who can say that criminal convictions in the US have been fair to people of African American descent? We always hear the talk about, well, things are better today than they were in the past. But if we were to use the data of what happened in the past to feed a system, the question I'm asking then is, what are the chances of an African American from the south side of Chicago from a broken home? Would they ever get equitable justice from an AI system? So you understand the power of that data that you use to train a system and how inherently biased it could be to a particular group based on what has happened in the past. The second, as well, has to do with how adequate the data set is. Not so long ago, a couple of years back, I had this, experiences at airport. I must say it has been much better now because I go through airports now hitch-free. And it had to do with the facial recognition systems at airport. These are all AI powered as well. I remember back in the day, as you deplane, as you're coming in, they would say those with biometric passports this way. The others, you can go to the man kiosk where there are, immigration officials. So I would follow the queue as well with a biometric passport. When I put in my biometric passport, I stand where you say indicated with your feet, remove all, facial wearings, no glasses, hat or whatever, and you look at the camera. I would do that for a couple of seconds and the machine will keep spinning, and then it will beep with a red cross. And I will be asked to go talk to a human being. The walk from that booth with the facial recognition machine to the man booth was something. Because with hundreds, maybe thousands of people waiting in queue, and you have there, it said, no, you are not supposed to, you have to go back. it carries with it a certain weight, which someone who is not in my shoes may not understand. But what was the problem? It is simply because the AI system, the facial recognition, and here we're talking about a branch of artificial intelligence called computer vision, the sample that was used to train back in the days was not representative enough. So people that looked like me did not make an adequate size of the sample that was used to train that machine. And that is why the computer system could not recognize people like me. So these are the type of things, these are things that happen, and there are consequences in real life. And when we talk about having a data set that is equitable, it is not only about the inherent biases that have happened in the past, with the likelihood of bringing them to train a system and make it as well or perpetuate that inherent bias. It is also about the sample size, right? In medicine, we talk about sample sizes, where if we are doing a drug test, we need to be able to make it as inclusive as possible. So too with AI, if we are using samples to be able to, data samples to train AI systems, these samples need to be as equitable as possible so that no one feels left out. So in conclusion, the benefits of artificial intelligence cannot be overemphasized. These are evident for all to see, and they are great. However, artificial intelligence is not just the output that we see. Artificial intelligence also comprises what I call a back office, a black box, in which we have a particular set of people with their biases who are writing algorithms that are powering the systems, and also the data set that is being used to train the systems. We live in the world of interest, where the private as well as the public sector in the global north, they have their interest and they are not shy about it. And it makes sense, or it's understandable, that they are going to write algorithms or use data sets to train AI systems that would be beneficial. The outcome would be beneficial for them. In the global south, what I'm saying is, it's a word of caution that we cannot afford, or it would be a grave mistake to just pick up AI systems off the shelf from the global north, to implement them in the global south and hope that they will come out with results that will be in our interest. It's not going to happen. We need to open up that box. Look at the algorithms that have been written. Look at the data set that have been used to train these AI systems. Make sure that we have algorithms and a training data set that reflects our own interest. In a nutshell, we need to build our own AI systems. We cannot, we should not pick AI systems from the global north and implement them in the global south. I hope somebody listens. Thank you.